Columbus Day in the United States is now controversial. To his supporters, Columbus symbolizes the opening up of the New World and one of the first steps in the founding of America. To his detractors, such as YouTube personality Adam Conover, Columbus was a murderous moron who didn't even know where he was while introducing diseases that may have wiped out as much as 90% of the native population. This is why his modern detractors deface statues of Columbus while petitioning for them to be removed. In Minnesota, there is a movement to replace the statue of Columbus with that of deceased music icon Prince, whom, we are told, more properly represents Minnesota values. Seen through the critical eye of the present, the past often fails to live up to our modern ideals. Many of Columbus's critics are correct in their assessment of the man. Till his dying days, Columbus insisted he had landed in Asia, and he did think the world was much smaller than it was. The arrival of Europeans was initially disastrous for the native populations, while many Europeans did take natives as slaves. Although all of this is true, what his detractors fail to do is to judge him as a man of his time. The 15th century was not the 21st century. The abomination of slavery was commonly practiced throughout the world, including among the native cultures in the Americas. Cannibalism was practiced among many of the tribes, as well as human sacrifice. In 1487, for example, the Aztecs are thought to have sacrificed 80,000 captives in 4 days during the reconsecration of their Great Pyramid. Although the Europeans did, unknowingly, bring new diseases to the New World, new diseases were also brought back to the Old, such as syphilis, which killed millions. History is messy, and few figures from the past can withstand the scrutiny of the comfortable present. However, the real agenda of those who attack Columbus is not the man, but what he represents. Columbus's arrival signaled the opening of the Americas to Europe, as well as playing the most significant role in the eventual founding of the United States of America. Although diseases were initially introduced, such things as literacy, liberalism, and the scientific method would be introduced as well. The results were, in time, the greatest flowering of human freedom, longevity, and material comfort the world has ever known. If you are going to judge the bad, you must also judge the good. Any impartial reading of history would surely judge that this is a legacy worth remembering and reclaiming. In order for societies to grow and prosper, they must constantly navigate between the Scylla and Charybdis of civilizational doubt and dangerous excessive nationalism. To veer the ship of state too close to either can bring disaster. The attacks on Columbus and the civilization he represents are an indication that we are veering dangerously close to Scylla. Should we care? After the slaughter of World War I, the teachers' unions of France launched a systematic purge of their textbooks in order to promote internationalism and pacifism while downplaying French patriotism. Instead of praising the heroic defense of France by soldiers at Verdun, for example, French textbooks instead portrayed the soldiers on both sides as victims to be pitied. Winston Churchill warned that a country cannot avoid a war by dilating upon its horrors. In France, Marshal Philippe Pétain, the victor at Verdun, warned in 1934 that teachers were trying to raise their sons in ignorance of or in contempt of the fatherland. Their warnings fell on deaf ears, however, and the French elites firmly set course toward Scylla. When Germany invaded France, generals on both sides thought that France had the edge, as the French army was thought to be superior. Adolf Hitler, however, ignored the raw numbers and focused on the French character, and found it wanting. Hitler's analysis proved to be correct, and France collapsed after just 6 weeks of fighting. In the aftermath, Charles de Gaulle, Francois Maurras, and others blamed a lack of national will for the unexpected and humiliating collapse. The head of the French Teachers Union was told, "You are partially responsible for the defeat." France's catastrophic defeat serves as a stark warning as to just how disastrous a lack of civilizational confidence and patriotism can be. As civilization does not believe in its own value, cannot survive. America is blessed in that it does not have to worry about a German invasion. Nonetheless, the moral decay that proved so disastrous for France should be awarding to America and other Western countries. A nation that rightly celebrates Columbus, warts and all, as a symbol of the beginning of a great civilization will have the medal to grow and prosper. I am much less confident about the future of a nation who thinks it's a good idea to replace Columbus with Prince. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking it and subscribing to my channel. Don't forget to press the little button as well to be notified when new videos are available. If you would like to support my channel, there are two ways to do it. One way is to support me on my Patreon account at patreon.com/Tocqueville. Patreon allows people to support their favorite content creators directly. Even $1 a month helps me out a lot and will allow me to create more and better content. The second way is to purchase some of my books and comics from Amazon. I've actually created a number of short stories and comics under the name Funny Comics, loosely based on the game Minecraft. Some of my most popular titles are my movie Minecraft parody comics. More recently, however, I have started to create comics and short stories that will hopefully educate as well as entertain. My first two titles feature George Washington and Ronald Reagan as characters. With your support, I hope to make more in the future, and all of these titles are free with Kindle Unlimited. Links for both options are below in the description. Thank you in advance for any support you can give.